Tonight, a shocking twist in global politics. Former U.S. President Donald Trump announces a 90-day immigration ban, targeting several African nations. But this time, one leader is not backing down. Burkina Faso's young and defiant president, Ibrahim Traoré, has issued a direct challenge to Trump's order. What happens when Africa's boldest voice collides with America's toughest stance? This is not just about immigration. This is about sovereignty, power, and the future of global alliances. The West expected silence. Instead, Traoré stood up and said, "We will not be treated as second-class nations." And tonight, the world is watching. Let's break down exactly what happened. Donald Trump, in a fiery speech to his supporters, declared, "For the next 90 days, immigration from nations that refuse to cooperate with U.S. security standards will be halted. We must protect America first." His words sent shockwaves across the globe, reigniting the immigration debate in Washington and beyond. But in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso's capital, Traoré responded within hours. Speaking in front of a packed crowd, he declared, "No foreign power has the right to close its doors to Africans while exploiting our resources. If America wants to isolate us, Africa will rise united." The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices echoing across the nation. This was no ordinary statement. This was a direct political counterpunch aimed at Washington. Analysts are calling it the boldest confrontation between an African leader and a former U.S. president in decades. The implications are massive. Trump's ban is designed to show strength to American voters who want tougher borders. But Traoré's defiance could ignite a new wave of resistance across Africa. Other nations, long silent under Western policies, may now find courage to speak out. And here's the deeper question. Could this clash over immigration spark a much larger geopolitical showdown? If Traoré's challenge gains momentum, we could see a shift in alliances. Africa leaning further toward China and Russia, while distancing itself from the United States. Already, reports suggest that several African leaders are privately voicing support for Traoré's stance. They see the ban not just as an immigration issue, but as an insult to the entire continent. A senior African Union official, speaking anonymously, told us, "This is a wake-up call. If we remain divided, we will be humiliated. But if we stand together, America will have to listen." The pressure is building. On one side, Trump and his America First doctrine. On the other side, Traoré, rallying Africa under the banner of dignity and sovereignty. Both men are stubborn. Both refuse to back down. And in the middle, millions of African families whose futures now hang in the balance. Coming up, we investigate how Washington is reacting to Traoré's challenge. Could this escalate into sanctions, economic retaliation, or even deeper political conflict? Stay tuned. Washington's initial response to Traoré's defiance was swift. Senior advisors close to Donald Trump dismissed the Burkinabe president's words as reckless and uninformed. Yet behind closed doors, officials admitted concern. One aide told Fox News, "The last thing America needs is a domino effect across Africa." If Traoré's message spreads, we could lose influence over an entire continent. The U.S. State Department quickly began drafting potential sanctions. Options on the table include freezing Burkinabe assets abroad, halting trade agreements, and restricting financial aid. But experts warn such moves could backfire. Why? Because Africa is no longer isolated. China and Russia stand ready to fill any gap the West creates. Indeed, within 48 hours of Traoré's speech, Russian officials publicly praised Burkina Faso's leadership for standing tall against Western bullying. Meanwhile, Beijing signaled interest in expanding trade with Ouagadougou. The timing could not be more critical. As America shuts its doors, Africa may be finding new partners. Inside Burkina Faso, the reaction has been electric. Citizens flooded the streets in demonstrations of support, waving national flags and chanting slogans of unity. To many, Traoré's stance is not just about immigration. It is about respect. One young protester told local media, "For decades, they take our gold, our oil, our people. But when it comes to equality, they push us aside." Enough is enough. Regional leaders are now facing mounting pressure. Will they join Traoré in resisting Trump's immigration ban? Or will they remain silent to preserve relations with Washington? In Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal, debates are raging among politicians and civil society groups. The possibility of a united African response has never felt so real. But let's not forget, Trump's supporters inside the U.S. are cheering the ban. They see Traoré's defiance as proof that America must stand even firmer. "If foreign leaders don't like it, too bad," one rally attendee said. "Our borders come first." For Trump's political base, confrontation with Africa only strengthens his tough image. This sets up a dangerous standoff. On one side, Trump, using immigration as a rallying cry to energize voters. On the other, Traoré, using defiance to rally African pride and independence. Neither leader appears willing to compromise, and history teaches us, when strong personalities collide, consequences can spiral quickly. The next 90 days will be critical. If the immigration ban holds and Traoré continues to resist, the world could witness the birth of a new geopolitical alignment. Africa may finally assert its independence in ways the West did not anticipate. But if Washington retaliates too harshly, the risk of economic damage and diplomatic fracture will rise sharply. So, what happens next? Will this showdown escalate into a full-scale rift between Africa and the United States? Or will cooler heads prevail before the damage becomes irreversible? One thing is clear, Traoré's challenge has shaken the status quo. The world is watching, and the outcome could redefine global politics for years to come. Stay with Fox News for continuing coverage of this historic